ready for some bullshit. Be ready for some bullshit.
Welcome back to Mindduck Anime, second torturous episode. Welcome back, guys.
Hello.
Hello.
How much do you regret being here?
I don't regret a thing.
Yeah,
I feel like this is payback for
it's all
having
Chan's
you watch
fault.
new-
But before we get into what it is, I'm gonna right off the bat give you a warning. Sexual, mature, disgusting content. All you children who are listening now, get out.
Yeah, not safe for work at all.
I didn't get this warning. Why didn't you warn us?
Yeah, we weren't warned beforehand. That's true.
I mean, you guys are adults, so...
We're gonna get into many topics that some people might deem to be very uncomfortable. So if you're not comfortable to us talking about genitalia, premature ejaculation, orgasms, imaginary rape,
Oh,
hamsters having sex with rats,
okay, well that wasn't a part of the
I don't
animation.
remember that.
That wasn't in the animation.
superheroes helping to ejaculate,
That was in the animation.
and
Yeah, that was
many
amazing.
things along those lines. If you're uncomfortable with any of this, just switch off. Stop the podcast now. Just leave.
Yeah, we don't want any of those stupid comments for I was so appalled by this. You were warned, bitch. Get out.
Get out.
You're warned, bitch. So this is the second episode after the tamest show. We chose the most appallingly adult sexual show, and it's all Chan's fault. What the hell, Chan?
Yes,
What
so-
I
happened?
have my...
Chan recommended it.
I have my reasons. You guys are gonna be it's gonna blow your mind. You know, like those movies or TV shows where you're like, what the fuck is going on? What was the point of this? And then someone just wraps it up for you in a nice little neat gift box and opens it, and there's a neat little paper and instructions, and you're like, oh, it makes sense. So that's what's gonna happen
so
at the
what
end of
the
this.
fuck is going on then, Chan? Please explain us what
I
Oruchuban
will.
Ebichu is.
At the end of the episode. You
Yeah,
have to wait
Chan's
for it.
thought of the day. Thought of the day has successfully infiltrated into all the spin-off podcasts that try to eliminate it. While the book podcast is purely thought of the day now.
But my thought of the day isn't a question. My thought of the day is wisdom to
It's
impart.
even better.
Oh. Ew.
So on this episode, I'm happy that Martin, Adam, and Chan all join me to look at Oruchuban Ebichu, or as Chan likes to say, Oruchuban Ebichu.
I'm out.
So cute.
Understandable.
So this is a hamster, and it's a very cute character.
That's all. We should just it's the life of a cute little hamster who's also like a live-in maid for her owner, and her owner is going through a mid-20s romance crisis, and the whole animation is just about this hamster trying to make her owner happy and
That
her
doesn't sound
owner
right.
failing.
That doesn't sound right. That sounds too regular for what that anime actually is.
I mean that's the surface of it. That's not the deep part. That's the surface. but that's it.
I wanted to start slow. I wanted to, because at the last of at the end of the last episode, you might remember Martin saying, "What? What is this? What?" So then we showed Martin and Adam some pictures.
Mm-hmm.
What were your initial reactions from the pictures?
I didn't believe it was a Japanese anime. That's for sure.
I remember you showed me a picture where a very cute hamster was pointing at a ball sack that was very hairy, poking out of shorts.
Yeah, but actually, I didn't send these pictures. You sent them all.
That was
didn't
Adam.
send those
That was,
pictures either.
that was Adam.
Oh yeah,
Someone-
I sent it
Oh, there
yesterday.
we go.
Adam is responsible for that. atrocity.
It seemed like a dumb comedy. Now looking back, I should have known or expected more. I was not ready for what was to come.
Oh, literally.
Oh no! I was afraid this would happen. All the compounds. Damn, so early.
Yep,
You haven't even started talking about the sex, and it's already
it's already coming.
exactly. You didn't disappoint.
So okay.
Was it actually intended?
So just to give you some sort of an introduction what this is. So Chen summed up the story. I have some background about this because I thought this was funny how this came to be. So there is a manga and it's called Hamataro. The trotting happy hamster Hamataro, and it's about a little girl who's 10 years old and she's got a cute little hamster and they go on adventures together and the hamster helps her with her mundane daily slice of life boring anime bullshit show. And then they made this parody of it, which is Oruchuban Ebichu, which Oruchuban means taking care of the house. So it looks very innocent, but they just wanted to make the most adult content and look at actual real life problems with sexual issues and midlife crisis and having multiple boyfriends and stuff. And there's this lady, her name is Kotono Mitsuishi.
But wait, I should say to people, Hamtaro is totally safe. you can watch that.
Yeah,
That's
Hamtaro is a
kid's
children's show.
and it's fine. It's really boring, but that's safe for kids.
Yeah.
But yeah, please
So
continue.
this one, Oruchuban Ebichu, not safe at all to anything and anybody.
But not boring, that's for sure.
Yeah, not boring.
I'm glad you say that. I'm surprised you say that. But Kotono Mitsuishi is the voice actress who voices Sailor Moon and Neon Genesis Evangelion. Insert character name, I don't know. But one of the main characters. And she took a break during recording the Evangelion show. And she was reading Ebichu manga. And it was like, what the hell do you have? What the hell is this porn you're reading? And there is a hamster in the porn. And she was like, yeah, Ebichu, yeah. And everybody lost it. And this thought it was hilarious because she made up the voice. So by accident, she read the manga out loud during a recording session, which they recorded. And they showed it to some people. And then they made the show based on her voice acting alone. So if she didn't make fun of it during a recording session, it wouldn't have become an anime. So that's funny.
Wow. What a world that would be.
So the episodes are just 8 minutes and 2 minutes are the intro song.
Yeah, that's true.
And when they started, they were just 6 episodes. And so the manga was from 1990 and this was 1999. And they wanted to air those 6 episodes and they couldn't find anywhere to air them because it was too graphic. So they found DirecTV Japan.
DirecTV is like a type of cable channel. We have it in the USA, and you can pay for some specific channels, so you can have whatever you want.
So it's like darknet of the television.
In Japan,
Right.
there are paid channels that can or are willing to display more adult content. From my point of view, it's usually uncensored anime, which is at most nipples. There are channels that are willing to show that.
Yeah.
It just
I think
depends.
those are mostly paid. I'm not sure if this was the case though.
So in Ebichu, you see nipples, you see like a vagina, you see a penis, you see everything, but it's very, very abstractly painted or drawn. It's not graphic, like disgusting.
Yeah, they're not like really detailed drawings.
So you're not gonna be disgusted watching this by the depiction.
Yeah, it's just for the purpose of a joke, usually. And that's it.
You're gonna be disgusted by the ideas of it, but not by the depiction of it.
For sure.
Yeah, the drawings are pretty safe. Just the things themselves are not so safe.
But nevertheless, they couldn't even do the full version on DirecTV Japan, so they had it on DVD. The full uncut version was only on DVD.
Well,
and I don't know what we watched, but I feel like we watched the uncut version.
I feel like we didn't.
Oh.
Almost certainly watched the uncut version.
And Martin watched it with like special subtitle commentary or something.
Oh yeah, I had the premium version. I had the translator notes. That was amazing.
So we have to get into that.
yeah, like in the spoiler parts probably, because there's a lot of spoilers in the translator notes. But
yeah, I'm almost done with the like intro part. So let's finish that up, and then we can like get into the details of the story. But the other thing I want to say is just the characters and like the general purpose of this show, I guess. So like Chen said, it's just a hamster staying at home and the master being a woman, and then the master has a boyfriend and they call him Kaisho Nachi. It just means worthless bum or man that's worthless. And yeah, that's basically the three main characters. One character that's recurring, and I'm not sure if you saw him. His name is Ma-kun.
Unfortunately, we did several times.
How would you describe him?
But wait, if we're gonna describe characters, we should go down like the list, or it becomes like kind of a mess.
I think so.
Like
yeah.
so,
Okay, sorry.
It should have some sort of structure. This thing.
So, I guess first, just start with Ebichu, then her master, then a boyfriend, then Ma-kun, whatever.
I thought we sort of talked about Ebichu and the master.
Well, I mean, there's more to it. You just, like, I did a very basic description, and then you were saying the show is banned and stuff. People are probably like, well, what the hell is going on in the show?
So
right,
who's Ebichu then? Who's Ebichu?
Go for
Ebichu is a very, very cute, like, hamster, and she like loves her master to death, like will do anything for her master. She's always cooking, cleaning, whatever, but she's still a hamster, so it's like difficult. You can see the effort that she's like having, but she's also not very smart because she's a hamster, so she makes a lot of mistakes as well. And she can also be bribed with the very small things. But anyway, she would do anything for her master, but she's also very abused by her master. She doesn't really appreciate what she does or anything like that, but Ebichu just overlooks it for the most part. So that's Ebichu.
Okay.
So what about the main character?
The main character we don't know much about, I think, unless you consider her sexual life.
Yeah. What's her personality?
That we know too much of.
Yeah, I don't know there is any.
Okay, anyone else want to try?
Well, yeah, she's just
short-tempered.
Okay,
perhaps?
She's short-tempered and
like typically kind of depressed about her love life, right? Because she's in this toxic, I would say, toxic relationship with this the Kaisho Nashi character, right? And she loves him in a way, but she doesn't realize that he doesn't really care about her. And she also has a like office job. She's an office lady, right? And I don't think that has a really big part in the anime, but it just shows that she has a ton of shit to deal with, and that's why probably she's really short-tempered and not really appraising Ebichu's work that much. That well.
By not praising, we mean beating her to blood.
Yeah, she always beats her up. Literally, she beats her up.
Yeah.
And we don't mean a little bit, like literally blood spurts everywhere on the floor and like...
Yeah,
brutally.
Big bruises and...
Which I feel like Ebichu is immortal. She can survive anything.
Well, she's a superhero, as we established later in the episode.
Oh, yeah.
Ebichu.
Yeah, that's a part of our spoilers. So, yeah. Just, she's a superhero, though. So, Ebichu, then her master. So, who wants to try to describe this worthless guy? Her boyfriend, the bum.
I don't think I can do any of these characters.
This Adam. Do you want to try?
I mean, his nickname speaks for itself.
Yeah.
He's kind of a.
He's a lazy bum who.
He's a lazy bum who regularly cheats on her, who regularly lies to her where he's been, playing pachinko and such.
And basically fixes every problem with sex.
Yes, that's a good point. Yes. Exactly.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. Yeah. He's just worthless.
So our most dreaded character, Ma-kun, is every time he's appeared on screen...
But this is a new character, not this is someone else. Yeah. So Ma-kun.
It's every time you see him, you get very uncomfortable. Did you get uncomfortable?
That's the most creepy thing on the whole anime. And that says a lot, because there is actually also a skit, a repeating skit, where a random person calls Ebichu, or to the house of Ebichu, and just in this really deep and breathy voice asks for the color of her panties.
Yeah.
I'm not sure, are they calling Ebichu or the owner?
Well, just to the house of the office lady.
I don't think they care, just somebody's panties.
But it's always Ebichu responding, so...
Yeah. Yeah, so he's even more he's more uncomfortable than, all of the sexual acts and stuff going on. Like, he's the most uncomfortable thing in the shows, this Ma-kun.
It's bad.
So why is he uncomfortable? Philip? Try.
Yeah, he falls in love with Ebichu and just wants to fuck her really hard.
Yeah, he doesn't though, guys. This, like, people listening, it's not that graphic. He doesn't do anything, but... it's the thought.
But things happen. I don't think spoilers matter at all, so I'm just gonna say some stuff that happens. But like, he starts bleeding from his nose furiously just at the sight of Ebichu. That's how much excited he gets about hamster.
Not even sight, just the thought, just the mention of a word that is close enough to Ebichu is starting a nosebleed from him.
Yeah, so we're gonna get into nitty-gritty, dirty details in the second part.
Well,
and
the spoilers definitely have something about Ma-kun, since you guys didn't finish finish watching Ebichu. Like episode 20, there's something very, 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 very disturbing that happens with Ma-kun. Like, really disturbing.
Yeah.
So those are the main characters, and there's a few other that pop up, like, she has a friend that's constantly surrounded by flowers, and even Ebichu is kind of put off by her.
No, it was fun. Yeah.
I don't remember her name, but those are pretty much the characters.
Very significant character I was looking forward to seeing and wasn't featured in the animation was Tanukio, which is based on the Japanese raccoon Tanuki, famous for its large scrotum. And this one supposedly has his scrotum shrunk when they lie. And
like
I don't.
Pinocchio.
Yes, but
the opposite.
Yeah, I don't know. Which, if you don't know, Tanuki is featured all around Japan, and it's a traditional raccoon dog which is depicted with a huge ball sack. Yeah. No joke, you can see it on the street. There are like statues all over Japan. I see it very often in front of a serious, fancy, expensive restaurant. Yeah. You'd have like a huge sculpture of Tanuki and a huge ball sack hanging out.
Yeah. So what do you do? Like, do you touch its ball sack to bring happiness to, or something like that? Is there some?
If that's how you gain happiness, I want no part of it.
Yeah, I figure.
If you've never heard of this and you're like curious about weird shit, definitely look up Tanuki, and you'll see like these ancient paintings on scrolls where people are drawing things with the ball sack, and it's like they're like using it as a fishnet, and they're like using it as a target to shoot arrows at, and they're using it as a blanket, and somebody used it as a boat. I'm not kidding.
It's a practical
all this
ball sack.
happened. Yeah, it's amazing. It stretches, it flexes, it does everything. It's durable. Yeah, there's a guy literally under it, like.
I was imagining different things the people did with that. Really different things. But that's actually fine. This is actually fine. But not for the Tanuki, but yeah.
So don't quote me on this, but I looked up what this was and why and how this happened, and it's a long time ago, but I remember vaguely that it was during the era of gold rush and like looking for gold, and they found for some insane reason that the ball sack of this animal is extra stretchy and thin and durable and resistant, and they used it to make pouches and put gold in them. And that's why it was lucky, because if you had a Tanuki's ball sack, it was like extra durable, like long-lasting scrotum skin pouch that you used to carry around gold.
buying a pouch like in the shop, let's say, you know, people make leather stuff, whatever, it's a Tanuki shop, whatever. Could you imagine trying to pick out the good products? Like, oh, yeah, that's a good sack. Like,
stretches really well. You can stuff so much gold in this.
Like, this one feels so good to the touch, right?
Sir, I would like the best testicles you have to offer. Like,
not the testicles, the sack.
We have all the testicles.
Excuse me.
Excuse me, a wrong terminology there. I mean.
Okay, I'm done with this intro section. So, any comments before we get into spoilers?
Don't watch this. Save yourselves.
Perhaps just that not knowing what I was getting myself into. Like, we looked on Google on the images, and there are images like Ebichu holding a dildo. I didn't prepare me for what was to come.
Not only what, but also who.
I've never, like, there are certain expectations of what sort of comedy I can expect from Japan. This was not on that list.
Yeah, it doesn't prepare you, and I wanted to say we're gonna get into like spoilers and talk about specific scenes. If you haven't seen this, just keep listening, please, because there is no reason for you to be spoiled or worry about being spoiled. I don't think that this show can be spoiled.
Oh, it can.
It can't.
Oh, okay.
It can.
Okay, so if you're into like what the fuck am I watching? Like, this is definitely not what I expected show, and you don't wanna know what's happening. Okay, so stop now and watch it.
Yeah.
If you don't care about like being weirded out, I don't think you should stop listening or watching whatever you're doing now.
I think it can totally be, spoiled for those who can be blindsided. But for those that are just like going to watch it anyway, like they're going to see a whole bunch of stuff that we can't fully cover. So, yeah.
Okay, so let's get into...
Maybe for like... So spoilers, maybe we can like organize it into each of us share a positive point, and then each of us share like a negative like memory that we have.
Oh, okay, that sounds interesting.
Okay, so we can start on, let's try on a positive note. Or something, it doesn't have to be a positive
I like
thing,
that
but
you emphasize
what you like.
try.
Like, for example, I really enjoy the intro song.
Oh yeah, I agree with that actually. I agree.
Very good intro
Yeah,
song. Yeah,
it got stuck in my head. The na da kana and so on. It's so cute. It's so cute. Like, it's the cutest thing. She's folding up like some laundry and like running around. It's adorable.
It's the polar opposite of the whole anime.
Yeah.
Little lures you in, unsuspecting.
Yeah.
のいい日に大きくなったら
My positive thing is that I really appreciate what I didn't appreciate about New Game is that they acknowledge everything and they talk about everything straight on and they discuss issues that are not discussed in any shows I remember. Like, when did you last watch a show where they discussed openly premature ejaculation problems to orgasm and like sexual problems? Have you ever seen a show where they talked about this and they had a point?
No.
No.
I don't think. Yeah. So that's my good point about this.
Is there any specific like moment that you remember?
Yeah, I like Ebichuman's best superhero saves your sexual life, solves your sexual problems.
So can you explain more about
Yeah, I'm gonna get into it in detail later, I guess.
Who has anyone a positive point that you liked?
Well, I have a positive point that's not really part of the anime, which is the translator notes. And I actually really enjoyed in like 12th episode there's a skit about virginity and losing virginity, and I actually really enjoyed what the translators had to say about it. More on that later, probably. But that was my positive take. I also liked the Ebichu man, and I appreciated the haiku that she just out of nowhere, there was just haiku. What I expect from haiku is this really, I don't know, deep and thought out and really traditional and pure process of choosing words to express your feelings and express your point very efficiently. And in an extent, that happened here, to an extent. But in a very sexual way, and that was unexpected, and I really enjoyed it. I like that. But I'm not sure if, do you remember the haiku?
I wrote down different things.
What it
I'm not
said.
sure if that's what you mean, like with the waves, or...
Wait, was there more haiku?
Yeah, there's lots of different Ebichu man.
There's 3 episodes of Ebichu Man.
Oh, so every Ebichu man has a haiku?
Yeah.
Oh,
And one of them, she
brilliant.
ends like, Ebichu man.
Yeah.
Ebichu man. Okay. By the way, why is it Ebichu man? She's a girl, right? She's a
Superman
girl.
is just...
Well, she also says, like, calls her master Goshujin somehow, but isn't, like, Goshujin, like, husband or something?
I think
Like
it's
a
a
polite way to
master.
say husband?
I think it's master of the. It's like a master of the household. I think would be like a literal translation.
So then, yeah. But,
So what about your positive point, Adabe?
yeah.
Well, for the most part, Ebichu is actually kind of cute.
Yeah.
Like, it's all the other people that are fucking awful. Ebichu is a dumbass, but she's kind of cute.
She's a pure-hearted dumbass.
Yes.
Yeah.
What if she's like twirling her
Pure-
butt at the
pure
camera and
hamster.
baiting somebody to fuck her?
But she's so, like, pure. I think she doesn't even, like, really, like, know. Because sometimes when they're even doing stuff, she's like, that's the wrong hole. That's the whatever. Like, she doesn't even know what
God,
she's
that
saying. She doesn't understand. And she's always saying, I don't understand humans.
If you
and
say
I don't-
so, but then she transforms into Ebichu Man and has all the answers.
Yeah, but she even tells, like, the one woman, I think you're getting into this. So,
Oh yeah, that
Like-
was a good one.
Okay.
also, Ebichu Man, I'm surprised you all didn't mention how amazing her flying is.
That's my favorite part, yes.
It's her way she's, like, flapping her arms and stuff is amazing.
Did you see the part when
I gotta
she's
find a
flying
clip of that.
and bumps the window? Like they keep like
No, that's
bumping.
the second or third Ebichu Man, but she bumps into the window. It's really funny.
She's flying really slowly, and if you guys don't know, if you haven't seen this, she's flying as if you're drowning. Imagine a hamster drowning and the movements, but she's flying in a superhero outfit in the air and doing that motion. And then she slowly comes up to a glass window and she keeps bumping the window with her head, and she's like, "Open, which one? Open, which one?"
That one is really funny.
It was hilarious.
Now I found it.
There's like 3 or 4 of them.
Oh yeah, the flapping is ridiculous. Okay.
I love her flying. But okay, yeah, those are some positives. Now we can get into what's wrong with the show.
Martin
that's-
is obviously wrong.
Makun is uncomfortable, but it serves the purpose. It's still bad, yeah. Makun is the worst,
Malcolm, is that where we're starting with Malcolm?
I guess.
Okay, so what put you off the most about Malcolm besides how we introduced him? Like, was there just the moment where you're like, I'm done with this dude?
Oh, to be frank, I don't think he's a bad person or anything. He's just your typical simp, you would say, right?
Simp.
Yeah, he just has a
One
really
way to
hard
put it.
crush on Ebichu, and let's say he wants to show that to her, and she's very, I think, oblivious to it. But the scene that put me off the most was when Ebichu actually kissed Ma-chan on the cheek, or Ma-kun on the cheek, and
It wasn't.
yeah, he started bleeding like vigorously from his mouth and from his nose, mouth, everything, every orifice on his fucking face, and yeah, I was done with that character at that point. I couldn't.
Yes.
was that your point too, Adam? Or
no, I mean he was. What is the word I'm looking for? Horniness for a hamster was plenty.
just like the whole furry thing.
Kind of. I guess I didn't even connect furry into it. The guy was just fucking weird.
Well, the reason I say furry because you guys didn't get far enough is that, well, this show, you think it's bad, but it escalates each episode. So the further you get, it goes...
It sure does escalate, yeah.
But so, imagine once you get to episode 24, it's... Yeah, so...
I'm not sure I want to imagine.
Well, I'll try to paint a little picture for you.
Go ahead.
And, so, Ma-kun, like... his not so bad deed, he tried to get his wife to wear an Ebichu suit and to do
Oh, I forgot he had the...
I completely, disappeared from my mind that he actually has sex with his wife while thinking about
this out of your
Ebichu.
memory.
yeah. So
Okay, I
happens
take
before
back
that?
my initial statement. This was the most uncomfortable moment with Markun.
What Martin's talking about, for people who haven't seen this, is after he's super excited about seeing Ebichu or being kissed, and then nosebleeds furiously, he runs home and has like the most amazing
Furious
sex with his wife.
Yeah.
Furious sex, which you can see and hear.
Yeah.
And then it escalates more.
So he has sex with his wife thinking about Ebichu, but then later he's asking her, can you end your sentences with dechu? Because Ebichu says that. And she's like,
no.
oh, why? Maka, why? And then later he makes a suit for her. It's an Ebichu suit. And she can get in it.
It's the Kigurumi suit, like the PJ's onesie.
Yeah, it's got like her boobs can hang out of it, and
God damn it.
her face can be seen, but the rest is Ebichu's exact patterns and shape, but human sized. and then there's more. There's more
No, there
because
can't be
later.
more.
Later, he has like a 10-layer inception dream of Ebichu coming to his place and be like, Makun, I want to stay here. And he immediately ejaculates and like wakes up. But then then it's still layered. He's like still in his sleep. And then it's another scene and she was like, take me now. And he like ejaculates and he wakes up, but he's still in a dream. It's like 10 layers of this. And then it shows him later like washing his pants in the bathroom where he's had like 10 inception dreams and 10 ejaculations thinking about Ebichu.
What in the actual fuck?
This is how far we've come on this podcast.
God damn.
Oh, how far we have come.
How low have we come?
And how many times?
Yeah. So I think at this point was when I mean before this, but by this point people have to, kind of think there's something wrong with this dude.
Oh, it wasn't obvious from the start? Okay.
It's genuinely disturbing. If you watch this, like you have to fight not switching this off and just going along with it. It's disturbing on all the levels.
That was something. So he's the worst, but in general, I think what bothers me the most is that Ebichu is so cute and so precious, but they're always beating her up. So I don't like when they beat her up.
Oh yeah, that was kind of funny the first 2 times, and then it became annoying. And I think they started doing it less and less, in at least what I remember, or maybe I just become less aware of it.
I think you're right.
But in the first 4 to 5 episodes, it was 10 times an episode. Ebichu was just is in her own pool of blood on the ground with a huge bruise on her head, and it stopped being funny for the 3rd time. and kind of feeling bad for her, right?
Yeah, so I do feel bad.
And if you haven't seen this, they beat her up like Mortal Kombat style. She's got like bumps on her head, bleeding, like she's swollen up, like spitting out teeth, and she's like splattered on the wall, blood spreading down on the
like
wall.
Straight up fatality.
That was really the most surprising thing right at the beginning, because like this level of violence, it felt like I was watching
Happy Tree Friends.
Exactly what I meant to say. Yes.
You remember that?
If Happy Tree Friends,
what the fuck?
If they like truly had some feelings, that's what this would.
This show is insane. I think it might be one of the most adult things I've seen ever, and it came out of Japan, which is very surprising.
So the Malkun, the violence, and and the main character just, I mean, she's abusing Ebichu, but like, she's got a bad life. You usually don't get main characters that just have a bad life and then it doesn't change. Like, you watch all the episodes and nothing's changed. So
it's kind of sad in that way, but it's I guess honorable or like nice that they depict real issues that probably happen. I don't really know any show that talks about these issues. Like, I keep thinking about, have I ever seen somebody who is that kind of character getting in these kind of problems? Like, I don't think nobody talks about this because it's too uncomfortable.
I really they talk about it, but they definitely don't like show it. They don't get deep into it. Like some of the comedy in there, like for instance, that's what I was talking about. The friend. I don't know if you all saw the episode when the friend that has flowers around her, like she comes over, but to take care of her when she has a cold. Did you see that?
I see that.
Yeah.
I've seen that one. Yeah. I think Adam as
So-
well. Right.
So like how she cleans up the house, and she even like the main character, she's like, you cleaned everything, even like my underwear, and she's like, yes, and then she's like, I did it by hand, and like she's like fainting and like can't take this, and then the friend is like but you're a woman, you can't help but get your panties dirty. And then like she's like dying from like what she's saying, but like nobody talks about that. Like nobody talks about that because it's one of the uncomfortable things, but they talk about it.
I guess,
from that point of view, you're kind of selling me on this a little bit more. Because that's true. Like nothing in any other anime wouldn't be this open about these topics.
Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of amazing.
Limited to anime.
But two things I want to do is discuss Ebichuman in detail, and then Chan's like revelation what it means at the end. I don't have anything besides that, so please go ahead. And when you don't have other stuff to say, we'll get into those two things. But I have a bunch of notes. But are there any other scenes or good, bad things you remember?
Well, the one that sticks in my memory, unfortunately, is from the last episode that I watched, and that is the turtle.
Oh, that was pretty bad. Yeah.
It was surprising, though.
I have raisins and
certainly
turtle.
very surprising. In retrospect, I could have seen it coming. I didn't.
So basically what Adam is talking about is Ebichu is kind of having some dreams, maybe fever dreams, because she's imagining lots of stuff. And how does she come across this turtle, Adam?
And he could have seen it coming.
Well, she dreams of like sneaking through grass and meeting a turtle.
Grass or like
I'm not sure what
just
comes
it's
right.
a bush. Let's call it what it is. It's a bush.
Yeah.
Yes,
It's a bush.
Okay, through a bush.
I'm not quite sure what happens before this, but then she describes a very specific smell
I
that
forgot
the
that.
turtle has, and that wakes her up, only to discover she's on top of the useless bum, looking into his pants, at the tip of his penis, which is the turtle.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
When she described that smell, I was like, what?
Before that, she climbed the mountain and found the raisin on top of the mountain.
Yeah, let's leave it at that.
Yeah, that was a bad episode.
So that was an experience.
That was pretty. Mm-hmm. Yeah. That was in there.
So if I can I get a little bit deeper into the translator notes? Because you watched it on YouTube, right? I don't think we mentioned that all the episodes are on YouTube, or did we?
Yeah, you can watch this very easily, yes.
Yeah, and I went the other way. I obtained the anime from alternate sources on the internet, and these alternate sources had what happens to be called translator notes at the start of each episode. And these translator notes are something different. Like, what do you imagine when I say translator notes? What would you like? What comes in mind?
Well, now that you ask, I'm worried there were pictures.
I just imagine from where I'll read like them translating some cultural things that you might not understand. They often add in a bunch of stuff. That's the only thing I think of.
Yeah. That's what I would imagine as well. Right? You have something that is difficult to translate, so the translator says, "Okay, this was kind of hard to translate. This is gonna be like I translated it like this, but literally it means more of something like this, and provide some cultural info or something like that." That's okay. But these translator notes like go a level higher. They explain every joke that's going to happen in the episode before it even happens.
What?
Before the episode. So
like several minutes long.
The translator notes are like 2 to 3 minutes long. It's before every episode. And if you remember maybe like watching Asterix and Obelix, those like animated movies, at the start of Asterix and Obelix, there's this really upbeat music that's playing with it and presenting all the characters. Well, this upbeat music is playing during the translator notes while I'm being explained why I'm supposed to be laughing about this episode, which is brilliant. It's just it basically goes presents a frame from the scene that's going to be explained. What? And then it says, okay, here the main character is saying something about this topic, which is funny because, and then it explains why the joke is funny before I even see the joke. And I'm just, what the fuck? Why? Who did this?
Shouldn't that have been after?
So, unassumingly, like, if you watch this before the episode, you get spoiled the whole episode, like, what's gonna happen in the whole episode. And then you can't enjoy it. But if these translator notes were at the end of each episode, it's brilliant. Because actually, there were some good points. Like, I've learned new words, like omimai. Do you know what omimai is? So it's from the episode when the flower lady actually came to visit. And it's a present for someone who gets sick. And you want to get them better. And it's a very practical word for it. It's omimai. But then we have, like, for example, got to explain the whole rules of Mojang for one episode.
That's crazy.
Do you remember the episode with Mojang? Like, Ebichu playing Mojang? Well, I know every turn why she won and why it's funny.
Oh my god.
But yeah, the translator notes, if you watch them after the episode, they are pretty amazing. Do you remember the delivery boy?
Yeah, I remember.
There's a Boyne word which actually means thumbprint, but Ebichu actually mistakes it for big-breasted, right? And that's the whole joke. Yeah. In translator notes, I would expect to just put in the brackets while you're watching the movie or the anime. Yeah. But no, here we have a whole paragraph of explaining what the fuck that is. So we have Boyne, which, I quote, can mean both big-breasted and thumbprint. The man here asks Ebichu for a thumbprint, but Ebichu makes a joke and says she can't give the guy a Boyne, big-breasted woman, because her master is flat-chested. The joke is just way too cheesy, so the delivery boy smacks Ebichu for it. And that's it. So, I got the joke explained, I don't know what the joke is because I haven't seen it yet because it's the start of the episode. But yeah, thanks, translators. Good job on explaining me why I'm supposed to laugh in a couple of minutes.
Crazy.
Like, what the fuck? I don't know what the thought process of the translators were, but it was half genius and half like totally like idiotic, and I love it. Actually, I think I enjoyed the anime much more thanks to the translator notes.
Okay, that's good.
So I think that's it. Is that it?
Okay, I'm just waiting if Adam wants to say something, maybe, or maybe just appalled.
No. I'm just appalled. I had fairly normal translator notes, thankfully, so yeah.
Okay. Right. So let's get into our favorite part, Ebichuan. And it starts with an amazing.
I like the intensity of the voice when the guy's explaining like what.
Please make an impression, and then I'll play the actual clip. You don't have to.
But I don't know what he says.
He just says, "Ebichuan, fighting crime and helping with your sexual life."
Yeah.
It's like yeah.
Ebichuan.
Yeah.
Ebichuan. Yeah, here we go.
That was pretty good.
Shows up from the dark end of the dark.
I don't know. What's this one again? You've been watching it.
That's ridiculous. It's like really insane.
Ebichuan! From the dark into the dark, it shows up and dissipates from the moon to the stars. No one knows what it just is. An earnest shopkeeper in the day, the justice maker in the night. By the way, they call it.
Shows up at the dark end of the dark. Like, what does that mean?
I don't know.
Dark end of the dark.
I mean, he means that he shows up in the darkest possible dreadful moment to help you and save you. So there are 3 episodes about Ebichuan, and what's Ebichuan's purpose, I ask?
She is a very helpful superhero who shows up at a person in need's house and helps them with their problem of achieving orgasm.
Yes, you said it.
Yeah.
You did it.
That's the problem.
I was expecting who's gonna say this.
How does she help them, Adam?
She encourages them. I mean, I remember that one episode where she helps that lady imagine.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so the lady cannot orgasm, and she's like trying to find out what's wrong. So Ebichuan comes to the rescue, and then helps her by.
Yeah, how?
Go on.
Okay, I'll say it. By telling her that you have to give it some. You have to give it some spiciness, some charm, some context, and like a storyline. So she needs a storyline. So we might ask what kind of storyline she needs to actually achieve full satisfaction.
Yo, what's the storyline, Martin?
Oh God, why me? So basically, Ebichu thinks it appropriate that her story is about being a high school student. In a high school uniform, as well, of course.
Doesn't the woman say that though?
Oh yeah.
But she just gets more.
Yeah, I think Ebichuan just like suggests that she has to have a story, and then she encourages her to go into the story.
She said the high school student thing first, and the woman got really into it.
Then she got into it and started imagining that there is a teacher there, and Ebichu, I think, asked if the teacher is like really older or young.
Oh yeah.
So she obviously said, yeah, he's really old. And then she got into it, and then she just said, yeah, they're alone, and it's hard to explain this fucking thing.
Oh, maybe
she always like presents the situation and has the lady complete
yeah,
the
yeah, yeah,
situation,
yeah.
and she
Yeah,
always
so-
completes
So
it.
Ebichu says he's
Most
fondling your
unexpected.
breasts. How is he fondling your
way.
breasts? Is it like very very gentle or is it really rough? And she obviously said it's really rough, and then she like bends me over and fucks me from behind, and from that point she's achieving an orgasm like she never had.
Yeah.
And that's Ebichu, man, I think.
Yeah. But you are forgetting the best premise of Ebichu Man. She is a proper superhero because she always, I mean, it always changes, but she has a secret identity. She has a day job.
That's right.
One time it's pizza.
Oh, yeah.
One time it's like a laundromat. Another time it's something else. So she's a proper superhero.
Yep.
That's true. That's if you want to be a superhero, you have to have a day job. That's official.
Yep.
So the first Ebichu Man escapades are to help woman orgasm. The second episode, she helps a man satisfy her woman, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's a guy who thinks he's doing well in bed, but not really, and the woman is secretly suffering and not telling her lover that she's not satisfied. But the Ebichu Man will not let that pass.
Yeah.
She will put her foot down, a tiny little furry foot down, and she will make sure that the man does a good job. So I think she reminded him of his like sexual thoughts when he was a teenager or something.
Yeah, I can't remember how she helped.
I didn't really get this part because she showed him, like, he reminded him of, like, being embarrassed by his mom or something. They showed, like, scenes of him being caught looking at dirty magazines, and then his mom showed something, and then his dick started shining, and he really got into it, and that's how...
I think, yeah.
Yeah, and Ebichu just left flying away, and she just smiled into camera or something and said that she actually might be coming tonight or something.
Ebichu Man.
And there's always a haiku, and Ebichu signs the haiku, it like writes on the screen, and then there's like the Hanko stamp.
Yeah.
and when they put the Hanko stamp down, Ebichu signs it, and he's like, Ebichu Man.
He's so cute though. Yeah.
That's amazing. Yeah, that part I love.
真ん中の穴に挿入終わりかな。エビちゃん。
The last person she helped.
Yeah, that's the one I wanted to like, quote.
So that's the best one.
Yeah.
Okay, we're gonna have to watch that one then.
So, do you describe it? Or?
You mean the dude?
Yeah.
Or, well, his situation is... He's like saying, I have all the money, I have all the houses, I have all the businesses, but I'm always prematurely coming.
Oh no!
He's like, I can't last.
And he's like, I've tried all the things. I've tried like doing it slowly. I've tried doing it fast. I've tried doing it with ugly people. I've tried doing it with...
It shows all these clips of him doing these things
Why?
to try to get stamina,
Why?
but he's like, he does things for like a few seconds and then he...
And he's like, I've tried the secret technique. And he shows him in the bathroom doing like something. I don't even know what I was going to say. What?
like holding his balls in cold water or something.
And then Ebichu Man comes to the rescue. And Ebichu Man does like an analogy to surfing. And she starts talking to him very seriously. Well, first she falls into the waves while surfing on a tiny cutesy surfboard, and she gets like almost drowned. And when she washes out on the coast, on the beach, she throws up. And then she says...
Yeah.
So that's the premature ejaculation, like...
Yes,
okay,
yes.
but
Yep.
go on.
She says, if the sea is mother of earth, then the waves are the entrance to that place. What the guy...
That's so poetic.
and he's like, what? And what the fuck did you say with the hamster? And he kept like talking about it, and he's like, oh, I kind of get it. And then Ebichu Man takes him surfing on the surfboard, and they start talking. Ebichu man gives him the real wisdom how to please women and how to treat women well and how to not have premature ejaculation. And I'm gonna read this, and I would like you, gentlemen and the lady, tell us if this is the accurate advice for all our listeners on how to treat women.
So this is like a life lesson waiting to happen.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
The waves are gentle. The waves are rough. The waves are harsh. The waves are warm. The waves are rhythmical. The waves are just like a woman. Don't conquer the waves. Throw yourselves to them. Fall into the waves. Let the waves hold you. Read the rhythm of the waves. And the guy,
That's some Dune shit right there. It's basically how you're supposed to move in the snow in Dune.
you mean in the sand?
In the sand, sorry, yeah, sand.
I thought you would say that's how you're supposed to ride the worm. That's what she said.
Yeah, right. Oh no, that would be perfect.
That would have been amazing.
Yeah, I missed that one.
That was amazing.
So after this happens, the man is enlightened and he starts like falling and surfing, and he comes in the sea and he's all nice and it's all great and he's cured.
But he has a lot of stamina though that whole time. He like keeps surfing for a really long time. He's letting the waves take control and then he.
Yep. So how do you feel about this advice?
Just gonna let it flow, man. I don't know. I don't know. I think there's some wisdom to take from that, I think.
I mean, I think that all the Ebichu Man episodes actually had quite a bit of good advice.
Okay.
More life lessons incoming.
So, I just meant like, okay, like the context episode or like the, the having the right amount of like fervor and like in the second episode and this third one about like, it's not like some battle to be won. You just, all good advice.
Okay. So as we said, this show escalates and escalates. So this was 22nd episode with the Ebichu Man number 3, and then more stuff happened. So Adam and Martin haven't seen this. So how would you imagine this ended? Before we tell you,
I couldn't even imagine how this started. I'm not sure if I can imagine how this ended.
What do you think is the like climax to this show?
So is it like a proper finish, like proper ending? I'm really not trying to make these puns. Just
yes, that is a proper finish at the end, both figurative and literal. But what happens? What do you think happens? Like, do you think they stay together? Do you think she leaves him? Do you think they have a threesome? What do you think happens?
Well, based on the life lessons that we were apparently getting, I'm gonna have to watch it again and really like think about it, I guess. But if it ends up in this sense, then maybe they actually learn how to get together and how to actually be together without just relying on makeup sex and actually like caring about each other. And
that's what you wish for.
That's what I wish for, which means that's not gonna happen. Fuck off then. Why can't there be a happy ending?
It's too real. This show is too real for a happy ending.
I don't know. I have no idea.
You got any ideas, Adam?
I think it ends with the makeup sex like every other episode.
That's kind of almost true, but not really.
Okay.
I have 2 notes that I wrote down that spoil the ending, but it's very cryptic. One of them says fish cake with cream, and the other one says McDonald's adult cream pie.
What?
Incentive for you to
sure
finish
if this
this
is
anime.
better or worse than if you Just spoiled
That
it
didn't
straight
help.
up.
So one of the things that happened in Japan recently, I don't know, maybe 1 year ago, is that they put up advertisements in every McDonald's serving new desserts, and it literally says adult cream pie on them.
Yep.
Literally in English says adult cream pie.
And that's a
And it's like
McDonald's
a-
advert.
Yes,
Okay.
and it's like a pocket, like a sweet dessert full of some cream, and they show it cut open, and it's like spilling out, and it says adult cream pie. Somebody knew what they were doing very clearly, and somebody else didn't stop them, also knowing very clearly what happened.
That's awesome, actually.
It's awful.
This
Not
can-
awesome.
That's not the word I would use to
This can only
describe
happen in
Pandora.
Japan, though.
That's for sure.
To be fair,
Really? Like, can it happen?
to be fair, on the Japanese side, not the translator side. The translator knew what they were doing, but the Japanese side, they use the same word for adult and mature. So, like, you can have, they say, like, adult cheese sometimes, and it's supposed to be mature cheese.
Oh, okay.
Or, like, so it's the same.
Yeah, so I just imagine the board member of Japanese, and then this, like, really unassuming looking gentleman at the front who's proposing this proposing this idea, and they all just like nod solemnly to this idea. Yeah, that's a good idea.
こんにちは、すみません。一つアダルトクリームパイお願いします。
Yeah. Yes, we take that. Go for it. Hey,
Coming right up. It's like, what? So this is how the story ends, but instead of a adult cream pie, they call it a fish cake with cream.
Yeah.
what does that mean, Philip?
You'll have to watch to find out.
No, I don't want to watch that. I don't want.
But so he gets like the bad boyfriend. They don't break up. They don't get married. I thought they would get married and have like an open relationship. That was my guess or something. But he gets really, really wasted, and he comes home really drunk, and he has sex with everything he sees, and he doesn't remember it. And then he wakes up the next morning, and he's like, "Did I fuck this? Did I fuck that? Oh my god!"
Yeah, there's like a crime scene, like Ebichu's like crying, and the master is crying, and they're all cleaning up the house, and he's like, "What's this? Blah, what did I do here? What did I?" He's like trying to figure out what happened, and they're like, "You don't know what happened." He's like, "What did I do?" And he's like remembering bits and pieces.
And then
That sounds like a nice mystery, actually. Okay.
Yeah. So it unravels, and they show what happens, and he gets really scared and assumes that he actually had sex with Ebichu.
Yeah,
Oh, God.
because she's like peeking around the corner, and she's got big giant doe eyes, and they're like shining, like in the anime when they're like begging for something, and he's like, "Wow, what is she wants in the?"
Fortunately, that didn't happen, but he had sex with the master.
Yeah.
It sounds very weird to say it like that. And yeah.
But Ebichu is like comes to him and is like, she's like, "Hey, can you do it again?" And he's like, "Wow, what?" And she's like, it was gooey,
Oh, no.
and, like creamy, and it was all inside. And she's like stretching her legs and like making all these motions, and he's like,
I can imagine the nosebleeds.
And then, but then she's like, you made that fish cake with the cream stuff inside, and then he flashes, like has a flashback, and he's all drunk, like, "Hey, I'm gonna make the best stuff for you guys," and he's like making this weird fried fish cake with creamy camembert cheese inside of it, and she loves it.
I don't like this sound you're making.
So that's
Okay,
how it
so that's the
ended.
end.
That's,
Yes.
that's not a proper ending. I guess like the life goes on from that point, right?
So in 2018, there was a sequel, and it's called Oruchuban Ebichu 2.
Like two, but
Yes.
two.
What? I didn't know that.
So we have to read that. We haven't seen that.
I
yet.
don't know. I'm just imagining.
That's not animated. It's just the manga.
Okay.
And I have read the first original manga from 1990
Oh.
by Risa Ito, who is a girl or woman. It's not written by a man.
This was written by a woman?
Yes.
Yep.
What? Damn.
And
Respect.
I almost forgot to... Respect.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it makes sense because in Japanese culture, society, media, they don't bring up these issues at all, and I don't think women get to a say in any of these things at all, and they don't, mention it in any show. So I feel like she felt like it has to be represented at least some way. So I think that's justified. But to round this up and finish this abomination of a show, you promised us meaning behind all of this.
Yeah, exactly.
What's the meaning of life?
Well, there's several parts to this. So, first off, as we mentioned before, the show is it's pretty raw and gets into. I mean, even at the very beginning, like she's reading from like some ecchi book while they're having sex. Like in the first 10 seconds of the episode, you're already just like. There's no kind of filter. It's just there. So I appreciate that it is as raw as it is without all of the suggestiveness. There's no suggestiveness. It just is what it is. It's the behind the doors of all of the relationship, whatever crap that you usually see, like animations or other stuff. The part that they don't show you is all that you see in Ebichu. And I like the story because someone somehow managed, like Philip said, to talk about things that people don't talk about, but still kept it entertaining enough that you weren't totally like put off by it. Like there are things that need to be talked about, but they're never talked about. But the only way that you can talk about them is if they're put into some kind of like comedy, like how they are here. So, for example, like the master's situation, like being in this really bad like relationship is very real. Like there's a lot of like women out there that are just like they're kind of stupid, but you can't like blame them for being like stupid. They just don't know any better, of being with like a bunch of people that just don't appreciate them whatsoever, but they've chosen this person and they think, I'm gonna make this person love me and I'm gonna like make sure that this person stays with me, or I can't be alone, blah blah blah. And they get abused, and so they abuse others in turn. So like Ebichu would do anything for her master, but her master abuses her because she's also abused, and she can't see that here's this perfect like person. It doesn't have to be a lover partner, just like it can be a friend that's perfect for you, but she doesn't appreciate it and can't see it and tramples all over her. So all of it, I think, is a very, very real depiction of how people treat each other, but put into a little bit of like comedy, so it's not so like it doesn't seem so bad. So the part that you think is bad, the part like, oh my gosh, all this like raw sex, blah, 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 these jokes, whatever, isn't the bad part, but they make it seem to be the bad part so that you can take in and like the other message that's there. So that's why I appreciate the show, and I think it has more meaning than what you might see on the surface. So in that sense, it's a masterpiece.
I knew it.
Wow.
Thought of the day right there.
Wow, like that's amazing. And completely true. I agree with you.
It is very true. It's absolutely a huge issue to talk about this in any way, and this is possibly the only way you could depict this. So it's too real.
Yeah. So
So it's
So yeah,
basically...
I told you I'd twist your minds. And
That's why this Mind Duck Japan
My
is
mind is
actually
blown.
called Mind Duck, because it's originally called Mindfuck, but I can't call it Mindfuck in public. So if you still don't know, it's Mindfuck. Anyway.
For like the 3 people that didn't get it at this point. I don't think there's any. But okay.
Yeah.
So it's basically like a satire critiquing relationships, like toxic relationships in general, right?
Exactly.
And even one more point to really like drive it in there. How you said earlier, Martin, that after a while you felt like either they had less violence or you paid attention to it less. There was no less. You're just you are used
I've
to it.
become
So
more
even like
numb to
real
it.
life, you just get used. You just get used to these
Just get
things.
desensitized.
That's a good point. Yeah, probably that is how it was. Yeah.
The gift that keeps on giving. This show's got layers and messages on top of each other.
This show is an
It's
onion.
got real depth. Yep. Makes you cry, makes you wince, makes you squint, makes you shocked, makes you delighted. Probably not. Only if you take it in the right way. And also has a deep meaning.
God damn it! I'm gonna watch this again. I'm gonna watch this again, but because you've made me like appreciate this much more now. So I kind of have a feeling that there's more to it than I just saw. So thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, no problem.
Adam is still appalled, paralyzed, and not talking, but I assume that you're still there.
I mean, I agree. That's a reasonable assessment of what's happening there. Yeah, sure.
Thank you for the comment. And with that, I'd like to end this podcast. And thank you. The first episode was Merciless Philip Torture. Second episode, Martin Adam Torture. So the third episode...
Yeah, has to be Chan torture.
No. Well, maybe on the fourth one.
Really?
Well, the third episode is gonna be just nice.
Yeah, maybe we're gonna have a relaxed episode, or
Next episode's gonna be just okay. We all enjoyed it.
you know, the vacation
nice.
arc.
It's a good episode, and we're gonna take a break from fighting. And I think if we find something to torture Chen, she's not gonna join us on this podcast, so we can't do that. Next episode is... Somebody say the name correctly, please. I can't say it correctly.
Goku Shufudo.
I don't know what's that.
Goku Shufudo. The way of the house husband.
Mm-hmm. So we all watched that organically, accidentally, and we've already seen that. So on the next episode, this show. And thanks a lot for listening. I enjoy doing this a lot, so thank you for doing it.
Mm-hmm.
That's what all people said.
Thank you that you...
Oh yeah, I completely forgot that I have a bunch of notes about Czech swearing. But never mind. Because because in the show there are so many accidental Czech swear words that Ebichu says. One of the most common Czech swear words that goes very often slips into Japanese conversation very often by accident that nobody knows. So for you Czech listeners, if you say go, it's iku. And if you want to emphasize or say like that's right, you say unda. So very often it's ikunda. And it's like something kunda. So then it's a hatara kunda means like I worked and stuff. So that's the thing that she constantly says. Also, she says dečka, by the way, which in Czech means little blanket. But then she also...
Yeah, that's true.
Yes. but then she, at one episode, I think it was episode 19, I forgot to look up the specific phrases she said, but she keeps saying like this, omanatopia.
Onomatopoeia.
What?
So there's like pika pika and like goro goro and all these Japanese phrases. So she kept saying picho picho and pichu pichu. So I was like, what? That's the episode where they keep guessing the quiz and they keep talking about pussy and manko and all this. And on top of that, Ebichu kept saying picho picho, picho picho, which in Czech means a cunt. So I was very, very disturbed on many levels of many languages, which the creators of this show didn't even plan. So that's a thing.
Now that you mention it, I did notice some of these.
So that's for you Czech people who are listening.